What's up, guys? It is Wednesday, February 1st, 9:40 a.m., and this is the crypto newsletter. Starting right off with it. So this is Jeremy Hogan. He's been the XRP attorney kind of for YouTube that's been keeping people updated through the whole case. And now that the case is everything's been turned in, we're waiting on a judge's decision. There's not any really video updates anymore, but he did post on Twitter saying below is the Library coin weekly chart. It's up 100% and Library completely lost the SEC lawsuit and is going into bankruptcy. What does this mean in the case with XRP? Look at that chart. That's exactly what I envision playing out for XRP by multiples than this. We have so many dominoes that could fall in Ripple's favor. It's not even funny. And so many catalysts, private announcements that could turn public announcements, doing an IPO, activating ODL, banks coming out in the US saying they're utilizing it, a resolution, clarity for XRP specifically. We got Brad Garlinghouse hopping on Fox News, CNN, he's on the money networks talking about how Ripple is trying to work with the traditional system and how XRP is being utilized to cut costs, speed up transfers, and all that whole shebang. On top of it, it's carbon neutral. So I just see the whole kind of panning out of that situation, the dominoes that can fall there. And I believe that it would be multiples more than this, but it's very nice to see there's a reaction when the positive catalyst came out, and that announcement that came out of that resolution with the case claiming that secondary sales of Library were not securities, that bodes well for us, let's just say. Now let's go to the next thing. We have Cindy Young. Banks are no longer questioning whether they require a crypto strategy, but they're instead asking themselves what their crypto strategy should be. It's too late to go back. They gotta adopt it. They gotta play nice with the Web3 companies and start adopting these technologies before they go extinct in a sense. Because if they're not utilizing this brand new tech, then they're donezo. So read my take on crypto in 2023, including CBDCs and Finance Monthly. Okay, so I had clicked this. I was like, where'd I get this? I don't remember finding it, but now we know why. So this is interesting. So 5 forces that will shape finance in 2023. We got these chains locked around the dollar, all different colors. Very interesting right there. Let's dive into this and see what it's all about. So what will happen to the crypto industry in 2023? Financing the sustainable energy transition is essential for the world's climate survival. World Economic Forum in here. How is 2023 shaping up so far as finance teams? All right, so we got a lot of stuff in here we're going to uncover. So in here it says perilously close to falling into recession, the World Bank says. According to the latest forecast from the World Bank, the global economy is perilously close to falling into recession. The bank expects that the world economy will grow by only 1.7% this year, which is a 1.3% decrease from what it predicted in June. Ever since, because all these factors, you got the war in Ukraine, the C-19 pandemic, the key challenges for policymakers to overcome is the impact of higher interest rates. And we're going to hear about the interest rates today. So it said the downturn would be broad-based and growth in earnings in nearly every part of the world was expected to be slower than it was during the decade before C-19. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to this, the 5 forces that will shape finance in 2023. 2022 has, by any measure, been a difficult year in Europe. War on the continent, runaway inflation, energy security, and even a corrupt scandal in the European Parliament. These problems are not going away and will continue to dominate the political arena. However, 2023 will be an important year for the financial services sector and policymakers. The start of the year is always a good moment to consider the key themes set to drive policy in the UK and the EU over the coming 12 months. So 2023 will be an interesting year as it precedes 2024, which is an election year, which is something I've been meaning to mention that. Yeah, I mean, you remember 2020, it was like something out of left field every other month. And we're heading into an election year. We're probably going to start seeing people announce that they're going to start running. And you're going to see from that, this is the year. And then 2024, it seems like all hell will break loose because that's an election year and it's just so up in the air. But in Brussels, there'll be a focus on getting the program of the current commission finalized as far as possible. And in the UK, the current government will be pushing to demonstrate it should be given an extended mandate. Same with the US. Now, if we look here, competitiveness, the shadow of Brexit continues to loom over both the UK and EU, and competitiveness between jurisdictions have become a key concern. Go down here. I'm just trying to get the cream of the crop here. Crypto. So 2022 has been dubbed the crypto winter, with huge falls in the value of cryptos and some high profile failures in the sector, FTX and Terra. This has led to a dilemma for policymakers in Europe. The focus on competitiveness means some want to welcome this innovative technology that many people continue to believe that has an exciting future. However, the risk to investors, financial stability, and even the ability to police and control the supply of money is causing sleepless nights in some institutions. The EU, as usual, ahead of the international game when it comes to producing legislation. Its flagship regulation, MICA, is agreed and ready to pass into law. I think it's around April and May. Similarly, the UK is preparing consultations on crypto asset regulation and digital currency. I think they actually came out with that framework today. Except for new powers around financial promotions, new regulation is not expected in 2023. However, the direction will be set in 2023. Whether the UK and EU adopt similar approaches remains to be seen. A competitive environment can emerge where each jurisdiction seeks to be at the forefront around, for example, blockchain adoption or central bank digital currency. This might introduce risks around intended consequences where regulatory approaches are not properly analyzed in a rush to move forward. Equally, there could be excessive caution that limits the development of the sector in Europe. It will also be interesting to see how the UK and EU overcome the dichotomy of regulators who will be very concerned about the risk versus those who want an environment focused on innovation. So sustainability and productive finance, we know that is the narrative. Financial crime, that's another narrative. Energy, big narrative. Finally, the events of 2022 mean that the energy security and costs are a top priority in Europe, and politicians have been quick to act to support markets and consumers. When it comes to financial services, there are three main concerns. First, can investment be increased to help reduce the reliance on fossil fuels generally and Russian gas specifically? Second, have markets delivered efficiently for European consumers? Third, could energy market turbulence lead to turbulence on financial markets as seen in markets such as the London Metal Exchange? Absolutely. So of these three, the first concern has increased the urgency around creating a regulatory framework to increase investment in non-fossil fuels. You guys got to look into copper, man. Look up COPX. It's an ETF. It's like a copper miners fund. It's an ETF. And yeah, look into it. Look at the chart. Throw the Stargate signals on it. We just flashed a 2-week buy now, 10-day buy now. But copper is what's going to be the metal that powers these fourth industrial revolution technologies. And I feel like copper is slept on. Not many people talk about it. They're usually talking about gold and silver. If there's any two when it comes to commodities that I would personally own and looking to own, is copper and silver. So for the second point, appetite for direct intervention by authorities in markets has been rising. This is very uncomfortable for those firms active in energy markets where price caps in public sector produce financial instruments like price benchmarks are likely to distort markets and can undermine confidence if not properly calibrated. All right, so without proper calibration, new measures are likely to raise the cost of operating on energy markets and lead, ironically, to higher energy costs. Inflation will continue. That's why if you're holding mainly cash, you guys got to get into something here. And digital assets, the right ones, have the best growth potential. It doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes a little bit of money to make a lot of money in crypto in a short amount of time. And that's not financial advice. It's just kind of the facts of what has panned out the past 10 years. It's a matter of playing it right and being a part of a community that plays it right. So come join the Discord. I'll put the link in the bio. But we got Davos 2023. Financing the sustainable energy transition is essential for the world's climate survival. So I'm not going to dive deep into this because we probably already covered it, or I'll cover it in a deep dive or something. But basically, what we're seeing is the narrative already start, because Joe Biden came out today saying that the biggest risk to the globe is not the nuclear war, it's climate change. And I'm going to pull that video up right now. Yep, right here. So new, Biden says he currently views global warming as a greater threat to humanity than nuclear war. Less than 4 months ago, he told donors that the world was close to nuclear Armageddon. He calls global warming bigger threat to humanity than nuclear war. Same verbiage as at a The World Economic Forum, they're calling the crisis is the climate crisis and essential for the world's climate survival. So we're going to see that be the case as far as the pivot of the narrative. Oh, the climate is a crisis. The world's going to end. Humanity's going to die off. Let's implement all these things. And that's what I see panning out this year, 100%. Urgent action to mitigate the worst impacts of man-made climate change. We've found so many climate scenarios and things we could track to see where upon the timeline we may see all this being implemented. If they don't implement this by this year, then it might not be implemented at all at the scale that they want to implement it, but it will still be implemented nonetheless because new technologies will be implemented. It's just in a matter of how is it implemented, the execution of it. And they want to execute it in one way. Other people want to execute it in other ways, but the technology can be used for good or bad. Now we have this next. We got Hong Kong Monetary Authority conclusion of discussion paper on crypto assets and stablecoins, January 2023. We got, however, some respondents felt that the HKMA should plan for unbacked crypto asset regulation, given their growing linkage with the mainstream financial system, money laundering, terrorist financing, threats to financial systems in Hong Kong, and consumers' lack of related knowledge. One respondent stated that whether unbacked crypto assets should be regulated by the HKMA should depend on whether such assets were widely used in payment scenarios. And then Circle's a part of that list of respondents, and Ripple R3 you got there as well too. I don't see Stellar, but yeah, we see that. So now let's go to the next thing. Shout out to IOV Capital Santana. I knew about this project in 2017, but some of the deep insight is coming to my attention thanks to NFA.crypto. Give thanks to both of you because y'all helped me step up my game. 2023 is the level up year, my man. Real recognize real, that's for sure. Let's keep going. Toyota to explore blockchain use cases via DAO hackathon. Like I said, every industry is going to step into blockchain Web3. Think about the supply chain and think about how, and this kind of deglobalization that's happening. So if the US does, and Russia, right, there's conflict and we need to verify if like say a metal is, or oil or something, is this from Russia? If it's from Russia, I don't want it type of scenario through blockchain specifically designed for supply chain management, something like VeChain, something like an undercover gem that I had discovered a year and like 3 months ago, but has been brought back up into the light. So I'm going to share that later in the deep dive. But yeah, so there's only a few supply chain management ones, and that like it definitely like is a use case that is important. So automotive giant Toyota is delving deeper into blockchain use cases, though through its involvement with a Web3 hackathon for DAOs. We go down here. During the event, we aim to develop the first proof of concept DAO tool for Toyota's employees. If a good tool is produced, Toyota employees will interact daily with products on Aster network. I found so many things on a rabbit hole last night. I've been up and I found so many different projects and just like had so many reflective thoughts on just the game plan for it. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's keep moving here. Aster is a Japan-based layer 1 blockchain, by the way. Let's keep going. So we got Immutable X to launch all-in-one passport system to onboard new gamers into Web3. So the new tool is scheduled to launch in April 2023. Weird timing with the whole Amazon thing too. So something's happening around April, that's for sure. Will act as a non-custodial wallet, gamer profile, and authentication solution for Web3 gamers. I think this is such a big problem they're solving. It's like, it's all the fragmentation of like the different wallets and just this, that, and the other thing. They're launching a all-in-one passport system for all of them. And it's like an authentication solution. It's a non-custodial wallet. You get your gamer profile all in one. I like the idea. And, you know, we have crypto, we have blockchain, but within crypto and blockchain and Web3, we have these different sectors, and gaming is going to be a big sector. Will it be as big as tokenization and currencies? I don't believe that to be the case, but also will it drive more of the retail majority mainstream into crypto more in Web3? If somebody could play a game and get rewarded with this token and then cash out, yeah, I'm sure of it. That's for sure. Then we have UK Finance Ministry to propose broad rules for crypto, invites industry feedback. The Treasury also gave crypto companies a time-limited exemption to approve their own crypto promotions until more regulation comes. So the UK's Finance Ministry is proposing new rules to govern multiple areas of the crypto sector and wants stakeholders to weigh in. They want to become a hub for crypto. They're talking about, well, the EU is doing this, and are they going to match it? But it's being debated in Parliament, and it's expected to be finalized by April. We got the timeframes lining up. The consultation will be open till April 30th. And then I saw something about Biden ending the emergency powers or emergency act that was ever since the C-19 happened. That's supposed to be ending around I think May 13th or May 19th. So just that end of March to May-ish timeframe is going to be very interesting. And we're probably going to start to see things as of today really start to kick up as far as just volatility and just like news on both sides of the ends here. And we just got to be on our feet, be on our toes, and just keeping an eye to the streets and an ear to the tweets. So regulators may be speeding up their timeline on cryptocurrencies. Increasingly sophisticated due diligence is in vogue when it comes to digital asset custody for institutional investors. So it's the same problem that they've been talking about, is like the segregation between customer funds and the company funds. Yep, safeguarding customer assets. And PolySign's doing that, and they actually released an article. So that I'm going to cover later on. But we'll keep moving. Crypto bank Silvergate shares move higher after BlackRock boosts stake in it. So BlackRock is supporting it. So that started to go up. It started to seem like they were going to go bankrupt. Crypto markets analysis, Bitcoin, Ethereum price surge, a reversal from darkest days of 2022. Crypto markets have been displaying cautious optimism ahead of the Fed Reserve interest rate decision on Wednesday. There we go. And when I came across this initially, I was like, I feel like I've seen that picture somewhere recently. And it's kind of crazy. And I'm going to show you it at the end. It's just so nuts with the Riddlers and everything. But I can't wait to see the top 100 chains APIs on the API portal. Kind of reminds me of collecting Pokemon cards when I was a kid. Let me know which chain you're most looking forward to see here. So this is the F assets. And I totally forgot about like Doge being on there and stuff like that. You got Bitcoin, Algorand, Costin, Ethereum, Flare, Dogecoin, Litecoin's on there, Flare Rosetta, XRP, Songbird. So don't see XLM though. I thought that XLM was going to be on there. Now we got this. In this scenario, the worth of XRP would need to increase to $16.67 cents per unit in order to transfer 1 trillion USD daily using a liquid supply of 30 billion XRP, with each unit of XRP being used twice. This represents an increase of 41.68 times the current price, currently at 40 cents. I'll take it. I mean, all these crazy price points, like people are saying, I think over $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 right now. I mean, is it possible? Maybe, but like, I don't want to bank on that. I don't want to hope for that to be the case. What I want to do is look at those numbers and be like, I mean, $1 trillion a day for the problem that Ripple's solving and the partnerships that they have, I would say slight work. Let's kind of chalk that up to 2 trillion a day. Now we're talking $32. Now I'm saying here, all right, XRP could realistically hit $32 in the next few years here. To make, I mean, basically 100x in a few years is just nuts. It never happens. So that is 2 years to wait for that. Sure, that's all good with me. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, so if I put $1,000 in it, I could have 100K in 2 years. Then I'm thinking, if I can kind of come up with or try to find or, do the pair to pairs to get 10K and then have 10K invested into XRP in a couple years here, that scenario pans out, I could have $1 million. And that's how I break it down as far as future value and just looking at the addressable market that XRP is solving. It's huge. So when I see that and I'm like, well, yeah, sure, it could probably hit $1,000. It's likely to hit it down the line, but maybe it's 2027, maybe it's 2030. Maybe you don't want to wait that long. So what you would have to do is be like, $100 could come sooner, or $10 could come way sooner. So then you just have to do the math and see how much you want to end up with. And then it's more of something like, how do I accumulate those funds to put into the market like that? So that's how I break it down. I'm not hoping and wishing it goes to like $100,000 per coin. I'm not going to sit here and say it's gonna $1,000. I'll say that, but I don't know when. I mean, it could happen imminently. There's a lot of rumors about it, but it could happen 2029, 2030. And personally, me, I'm trying to get in now. So I'm looking and I'm trying to see, all right, how can I accumulate X amount of dollars to reach my end goal of, say, I want to make $1 million retire. So that would mean I would need to put $10,000 in the market for that $32 price level right now. All right. So that now I'm kind of plotting, I'm scrambling, I'm plotting ideas, strategizing, see how we can make that money. So that's how I went about it initially back when I went deep in 2019, 2020 is when I really loaded up. So let's see the next thing. We have Battery Pass, a consortium to advance the EU battery passport. The Energy Web is involved with this. I love when you see the timeline. This is what I'm saying. Like, we're in the middle of the timeline. We're very, very close to 2025. Sad to say, but I mean, we're so close. We're at the finish line, and it's just like, we have some catching up to do as far as the prices, that's for sure. So I believe the prices are going to catch up, and they're going to catch up in a violent way. And it's going to be with an event or something like that. So yeah, we're going to keep it at that. Last thing, Tom Brady actually is finally retiring. I'm pumped because I own his NFT, his signed NFT. There's only 79 out there. I have number 44. And yeah, I bought that pretty high up when it was like the NFT craze, and it's down just a little bit from it, but he had announced that he retired. So I was hyped because the price shot up and it was up big. And then he had said, oh, never mind. Hold up. I'm not retiring. And then it tanked back down. Now he's finally coming out saying that he retired. So hopefully this kind of rebounds here, but maybe it has something to do with the FTX and the fallout there and how he got burned. So maybe it has something to do with FTX and the fallout there. Maybe he got burned or something. I'm not sure, but I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get back to the charts. It's going to be a volatile day. I want to make sure we're on it. So I'll see you guys over in the Discord, link in the bio. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for next time. So I'll see you over there.